Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Montina. I'm so glad you're here. Please give me a like. Please share this. And if someone had invited you over here to this side of YouTube, they love you, they care about you, they want to see you win, prosper, and thrive in life because that's what we're doing over here. We not having no sad sob stories over here. I am pro relationship. I am pro marriage. I am pro doing the work. And I'm just pro being happy in life. So, again, share it. My name is Montina. And I am telling you right now that that's my government name, as they say. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I do this practical call because I want to see you get and stay married and attract the love that you desire and deserve. So I just make it a practical call. You can pray for yourself. There are enough naysayers out there. There's enough people out there telling you what to do. Somebody tell me right now, come down, get off the live. If you don't want to, if I'm too much for you, I'm too much for you. This is me all the time. And I am unapologetically authentically myself in every room that I go into. It's worked well for me in business. It's worked well for me in life. You like me or you don't. It's very black and white. Like I'm not the person you're on the fence with. You like, oh, I like me or I don't. It is what it is. So that's me. On Mondays, I don't do the devotion because I kind of go into some of the things that I've learned over the weekend. I make it a very, very, very practical call. This is a practical call. You can pray for yourself. Matter of fact, you should pray for yourself every single day. You should pray for your husband every single day because sometimes they're just crazy. They just literally are just crazy. And, sometimes when I talk to women, they're like, oh, I'm just going through this. And I'm like, sis, everybody going through something. Choose your heart. What are you willing to put up with? Because you're going to put up with something from someone. It's just a matter of choosing what you're going to put up with. Choose your heart. Okay. That's what it is. And listen, I had to have some girlfriends kind of get on me this weekend because it was my birthday weekend and my husband, I learned a dance and I've been learning the dance for the last 6 to 7 months. And my husband's very, very new to it and he's really getting a little frustrated. He can't really do the dance. And I get frustrated kind of dancing with him because it's not that much fun. One of my girlfriends like, hun, just don't say nothing, be patient, do this. So we need each other. We hold each other accountable. So again, this is a call because 50% of first marriages end in divorce, 67% of second marriages end in divorce, and 73% of third marriages end in divorce. It's just you are more likely to get divorced than not. So if you don't want to get a divorce, you have to be on the proactive side of this, right? So we talk about the power that comes from the word, it comes from reading, it comes from knowledge, it comes from information. I always like to highlight a couple of books. So I'm actually going to do that today. And then also we have to make sure that we pray before we say, even me, y'all. I'm telling you, this weekend I was guilty as charged. And I was like, whew. And I had girlfriends around me, a whole community that helped inspire and encourage me. Now it wasn't nothing where I was, I'm not argumentative or contentious with my husband, but I was like, whoo. And they was like, it's okay. Look, I've gone through this. You'll get through it, sis. It's all right. And it is okay. All right. We got to pick our battles, as your pop put in there, pick our battles. And then the second thing is make sure that we're hearing from God. We got to meditate. Sometimes we just need to pause and listen. Our husbands deal with a lot, men deal with a lot in this world. There are triggers, there are certain things we can say that trigger them. And sometimes we just have to recognize that we have to just zip it.com, just shh, everything can't be expressed. Okay. And they notice things. My husband noticed some things on my face this week and he said, well, you don't do this with me and you do this with, and I had to explain that. Right. It's a dance that I do. And he's like, well, you look at the other person you're dancing with in a certain way. And I'm like, well, I'm looking for a signal. So some things take an additional explanation. And then what is our purpose? The purpose of marriage is to help us become the best version of ourselves and him too. It's to help us, meaning your husband and you also, your spouse. But to make this practical today, y'all, I'll be having some stories, but I'm going to talk about a few books here that I read. So I've been in business full time for the last 10 years, full time. You can Google me. I'm a Googleable name. It's only like three of us, Montinas. Montina Cooper, which is Beyonce's background singer, another Montina that sued R. Kelly, and me. So like I'm a real person. I have a real LinkedIn. I take up 100 pages of Google. I've been around a long time. And one thing in business is we do things that are very practical in nature, right? They call it prospecting. If you want a new client, you have to prospect to get the new clients. So there's a book called Fanatical Prospecting that I always kind of share with my kind of new founders I work with, stakeholders, new entrepreneurs, small business owners. They always want to ask me for advice. I'm like, read books, okay? But here's some books I can recommend. I love to read. And there's another book called Predictable Revenue. If you don't have a prospecting pipeline all the time, you're going to be broke literally every day. I'm not even accepting new clients and I still prospect. That means I'm still meeting people. I'm still building out my pipeline. I'm still connecting on LinkedIn. And I built a company with predictable revenue, which means every single day, or pretty much every other day or so, but we do what's called a recurring revenue model. That means every single month, I don't have to chase new business because I'm going to tap a credit card for the service that we're providing. So, again, that's high level business stuff. This is not a business call. With that said, it's another way that we need to look at our marriage. What are you doing every single day in a consistent manner so that you're proactive instead of reactive? That means from a fitness standpoint, this is me unapologetically. I do get up in the morning. There are days where I'm just like, oh, today was one of the days I was like, my husband was still in the bed and I did not want to get up. I had a very busy weekend, but consistency won, right? Consistency, the discipline, physical attractiveness is important to me, but guess what? It's also important to my husband. In the book, His Need, Her Needs, it used to be how to affair proof your marriage, but now it's called Building a Marriage That Lasts. They changed it. Or maybe I made it up. I don't know. He has an entire chapter. He needs a good looking wife. Now, that doesn't mean that his wife is skinny. That's not what it means. But he needs us to work on our physical attractiveness. So when I come on, like I said, I make this practical. I'm trying to be practical. When you are healthier, when you are working out, you just tend to feel good. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not a skinny mini. I'm a little curvy, y'all. I got some curves going on, and it's because I'm in the gym. But it says I'm getting older too. I turned 47 years old, and I'm gonna tell you, over 40, the weight be like, shoo, and it does not go away. Last night at an event I was at, they had cake. One lady was like, I never eat cake. I don't eat sweets. So I like sweets. I eat sweets. I'm going to eat the cake. But I know I'm going to go ahead and go work out. So that's important. But when she looks good, he feels good. A man with a need for an attractive spouse feels good whenever he looks at his attractive wife. In fact, that's what emotional needs are all about. When one of his emotional needs is met, he feels fulfilled. And when it's not met, he feels frustrated. It may sound immature or superficial to some, but this is the author found that most men, not all, you might say, my husband don't care. Okay. Most men have a need for physical attractiveness. They appreciate a good looking wife. Women want their husband to look decent, and they might add that attractive men get their attention, but the author, who's a man, says that I've found that most women, make sure my mic's on, do not rank physical attractiveness among their top 5 emotional needs. They are far more likely to fall in love with men who meet their other basic emotional needs: affection, intimate conversation, honesty and openness, financial support, and family commitment. Okay. So again, I'm not going to get into all of this. These are the resources I share. You take what you want, chew the meat, spit out the bones, but it's important. And when you feel good, you look good, your confidence levels are higher, you move a little bit differently. And again, how to love a Black man, how to love a Black woman. This is relevant for how to love a man, period, how to love a woman. But again, because I'm a Black woman and I have a Black man, these are some of the books that I read. Pulling it back to practical. So I went to Pilates, and y'all know I'll talk about these things. I'm there this morning. I'm going to cycle class at 9:30. I like my cycle instructor. That's one of the reasons I go. I like her. It's fun. And it gives me a time to pause my brain. As an entrepreneur, I'm always on. And so I know that I need to pause my brain. And as an entrepreneur, even doing this stuff like this, I go to Chicago step. I do a lot, but it's fun for me. But when I cycle, I'm just listening to ratchet music and I'm moving my behind. Okay. So this morning, every day, like I encourage you all, as a call to action, send him a photo, send him a text, write him a note, do something, whatever his love language is. But men tend to like the appreciation from us, words of affirmation. So one lady, and I was telling the instructor, I'm going to my cycle class. And one lady was like, oh, like, that's a lot. And I'm like, well, and I always say things in jest, but I'm like, oh, I like to keep all my husband's attention. But it's kind of like my thing that I say and do. She was like, and she said it here. She said, Well, he could take it or leave it. Mine can't. I don't give a shit. And I just looked and I said, wow. And I kind of just was like, and it hit me like from a practical side, some things I wanted to share from church. Like, do you give a shit? Like, do you? Do you? Can excuse my expletives. But like some women just like, I don't care. Take it or leave it. You get what you get. And if your spouse heard, if you were a fly on the wall and heard him talking about you like that, like you wouldn't appreciate that. And it just, again, I'm not in a first marriage. I'm not in a second. I'm in a third. Some of the things that I hear women say, I'm just like, dang, that's not cool. We don't call each other out about it. And well, I do. Because I was like, oh, I said, okay, so you're like, cool. That might work for you. It doesn't work for me. The other practical side of this, there are things that we just have to do to master the basics in a relationship, emotional needs, the basics. Chicago Step, she gave us like a list for just basics. I practice the basics every single day. If I'm going to practice a dance with the basics, can I practice peace in my home? Can I learn up on intimacy so I can please my husband as well as pleasing myself? Can I just learn about, oh, okay, maybe there's some things where we can have some quality time and some intimate moments, listen to his dreams, listen to him and focus when he gets home. Can I speak, you know, and share about my husband and talk well about him when he's not around and when he is around? My husband cooked an amazing dinner yesterday and he didn't want to go out stepping with me. And stepping, we all dance with each other. So I get there, like, where's your husband? Because they know I love my husband. Because I talk about my husband. I share positive things in his presence. And when people meet him, they're like, wow, Mr. And they know his last name. All she does talk about how much she loves her husband. And again, you do you, boo. You do you. But I'm going to tell you, I said, well, he didn't come. He made smoked wings yesterday. He knows I like kale. He knows I like mashed potatoes. This one girl said, girl, you got a good man. I said, girl, I know. I sure do. I'm just saying, think about the things. You might say, Martina, I don't have a good man. Well, I got you, sis. I'm actually reading a book right now, The 5 Seasons. And he talks about noticing the things that you do enjoy. You're married. You picked him. You got what you qualified for at the time. And again, when I'm having these conversations, when we get to Cancun, it's going to be real and raw because you will get to a certain age where you may not have options because you've run out of physical attractiveness. Some people didn't keep up with their bodies. You just don't have options. I want you to have the one you have and enjoy and or have options. If you my single ladies, all my single ladies, because the men out here, I read the comments, I get messages, I meet these men in person. They want companions. But there's a book I'm reading, The 4 Seasons of Marriage. You want a summer marriage where it's amazing. You want a spring marriage where it's like, okay, we've gone through some things. You want a winter marriage where you're like, I can't wait to get out. Okay, till death do us part, but who's going to die first? Or do you want a fall marriage? You get to choose what it is that you want. And some of the older women, I'm going to tell you, whoo, the way they talk, they want you single so they can spend their time with you too. I'm telling you, I'm around it enough that I'm starting to sense things with these younger women. I'm like, if y'all don't get it together, because men aren't marrying the way they used to. And when they do, they want a companion. They know what they want, and it's different. Master the basics. But the 4 things in another book here, and again, I'm just sharing it because I see it. And I see it so much. And I'm like, sis, a lot of us out here winning and don't realize we winning because of the way this world works. They don't want you to know that you're winning. Okay. There's a book I was going to reference here too. But anyways, talking about maturity, decisiveness, strength, and consistency. Those are desires for what we want and need in a man. See, let me get my little passcode right. And it's called The 4 Things Women Want from a Man. 4 things women want from a man. Speaking in your language, but says prepare, study, commit, and be consistent. Understand what it is that you have and give a shit. The other thing is, again, moving it back to practical, some of the things I learned from the word yesterday. He talked about compassion, compelling, and convincing. So at the church I attend, they're building a new sanctuary. I've been to a church where I've seen literally millions raised in a few hours, literally. Andy Stanley's church, I used to go to for years, North Point. And I thought to myself, he said, it's a 3,000 seat church. We already have 3,000 members. We're trying to prepare. So in my mind, I said, well, that's about $3 million. And I divided it. That's $1,000 a family. That's very practical. If $1,000, every family said, we're going to commit $1,000, which is a little less than $100 a month. it can get done. So all I'm saying to you is when you start thinking through things, you don't need me to get on here and just talk about, sis, you're blessed and this and that, I'm praying for your marriage. You do the practical work in your marriage. Send me a message. I'll get on the phone and talk to you. And I'm not trying to be mean, nasty, but listen, last part, I won a lot of awards. Girl, yeah, listen, I got a lot of recognition, but I don't want to win this stuff out here and be places. And I'm failing in marriage. That's why I got to a third marriage and said, this is time out. It's me. I got to fix some things. Okay, Montina, you talk too much. You want to have a response to everything. Okay, now publicly, but I was like, why do I need to have a response? Last thing, Friday, my husband came in. I had to take a nap. I had a long day, 5 a.m. getting up. First Friday with the Atlanta Black Chamber. I do a lot in the business world. I'm like over committees. Da, 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 da. I was just done. When my husband came in, we were going out that night too, the first Friday for Chicago Stepping. He came in, he said, you probably been sleeping on that couch all day. Now, a couple of months ago, maybe a couple of years ago, I've been like, I was in my mind even, again, y'all, I have moments. I'm thinking, I had a long day. I didn't say anything. And I think I didn't say anything for like a day or two. And then I think it was like the day after. And I said, you came in and said that. Let me show you everything I did all day. And I showed him on the pictures. He's like, oh, baby, you be getting it in. I didn't have to be like, you think I'm sleeping on it doesn't matter. And I'm just trying to say some things are just very practical. He didn't know. I was tired and I didn't have to explain everything. So again, I'm gonna leave it at that, but I'm just gonna say give a shit. And I'm gonna just say it just like that because you need to care about you, how you look, how you react, what you're doing, your femininity. Are you interesting? Are you nice? Some of y'all just not nice. Well, not y'all, because if you showed up here, you probably are. But even when I went to church, I was like, dang, I enjoy going out more than I enjoy going to church. You go in there and sit people next to you. I'm trying to compliment the woman and talk and be nice. When we go out first Friday, it's 200-300 people there, Chicago step, and we all hugging it's a party. And we enjoy it. Do your best to be nice. Yeah, I have high energy. What you want me to be on here? We already all struggling in the morning. What am I supposed to do? Get on here and just be like, oh my God. Again, you do you. Okay. Sexiness is important. Your sassiness is important. What do you need to do to be a little bit more sensual in your clothes so that you feel good? I went to a backyard party with a friend, and I ain't gonna say who came, but somebody came to me and was like, "Where your man?" I said, "He home." I said, "But he take good care of me, y'all. I got a clap back for everything." He said, "Well, I take good care of my wife, but I like what I see in you." I said, "Well, I sure appreciate it. I let my husband know." Sis, physical attractiveness, and then, like I said, it ain't all this. Your hair, everything about you, start to glow up. You got this. So your hobbies are important. Y'all know I got a whole list of hobbies. Write them out. Get a little list of things that make you happy. Your hobbies make you happy. They add so much to your life. Your self care, pick something about you. Focus on your skin. Focus on your body. People always look, oh my God, your skin. Because I focus on it. Whatever you focus on is going to expand. We talk about that in my marketing company. You know, whatever you focus on and prioritize and you examine, okay, are things that you can focus on. I have to get the direct quote. And then the last thing, again, you need your sister circle, unicorns and rainbows. You don't have to go super duper deep. One of my girlfriends knew it was my birthday and she reached out to my daughter, got me some cute little gifts, gave me a beautiful card, gave me a beautiful lipstick, just noticing things about your girlfriends. Put on your whole armor, Ephesians 6:11, and no weapon formed against you shall prosper because the joy of the Lord is your strength. And here's the last thing too with the sister girl stuff. Some of y'all going through some situations because you're choosing to. People will reach out to you. Hey, you want to hang out? You want to do this? You just want to sulk. I mean, sis, we all going through some things in life. You ain't the only one. Like I said, I wish you could be the special unicorn and be the only one, but you're not. Just because someone's not talking about it doesn't mean they're not going through things. Again, I go through things. It could be a holiday on Father's Day, Mother's Day. It could be, we all go through some things. And even today, my husband was talking about some things, and I had to shift the conversation a few times. We all are going through something. Choose your heart. Okay. So thank you for spending your time with me. I'm going to go through the comments. I'm going to go through the comments. I'm going to go through the comments. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yo, Pa, thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, Hope. Hey, Grace. Grace is like, what's this about? All right. Hey, Cena. Good morning, sis. Good morning. Hey, Grandis, happy to see you. All right. Hey, Frank from Kenya. We appreciate it. Hey, Artavia. Artavia is my massage therapist. I have to get it right and I call her masseuse. All right. Hey, Kai. Hey, Kai. Hey, Kai. Hey, Kai. All right, good job. Your paw, I sure appreciate you. Y'all glow up. Make these men be like, oh, just make. I gotta read the testimonial. My lip color is the Lip Bar, black owned, vegan, wonderful. The lip color my girlfriend got me is Ruby Woo from Max. I haven't tried it yet. She texted me, did you try it yet? Let me read this testimonial. And again, this is a little longer, but I just want y'all to get it. You don't have to be running around here struggling in marriage. Your husband should look at you and you do it because again, you do it for him. You're kind, you're nice, you're sweet. Well, Montina, these men, they all crazy. You pick your crazy. You want this crazy or you want to come over to another crazy on the other side? Because sometimes the grass is greener. I know the grass ain't always greener. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Sometimes, but you still deal with stuff. You still gonna deal. You might deal with an ex-wife. Ugh. You might deal with baby mamas. Ugh. You might deal with crazy sister-in-laws. Ugh. But some of the stuff you just be like, oh my God. But it just is what it is. It's funny. So one of my sister friends sent me something on my way to church, and I was like, "Oh my God," I'm in church, on my way. I'm just like, "Oh God, you're just so faithful." Some call God good. I say He's faithful because God is not always good. People, oh my God, God is good. I've been wanting to say, "Girl," but He's faithful. His word is consistent. He's always true. He gonna show up for you. But sometimes I feel like, Lord, now why I go through this? But that's a whole nother conversation. But she said they're on vacation, and she said we're enjoying ourselves. We're kindling our love for one another. I told him how much you've inspired me to be a better person, so I can be a better wife. And she said, I appreciate you more than I know, friend. That's it. We all gonna grow great together. Nobody's encouraging us. They said marriage is hard work. Sis, you are there to be your best version of yourself. So be the best version of yourself. All right, I got to go, y'all. You guys have an amazing rest of the day. And I appreciate you so much. Talk to you later. Bye. Yes, come to Cancun with us. Travel joy. Let me put it here. Y'all, I'm not making no money off of this. This is not a money maker. This thing, I don't know what God created here because we about 60 calls in. I just want you to win. I just want you to win. I see too many people struggling in marriage. I see too many single women that don't understand marriage. Y'all don't even understand how to flirt, attract men. And I'm telling you, I've met enough older women. I know the ones I know, like some widows, but I met enough that are just like my grandma told me this before she passed, way before she passed. But my grandma on my father's side, she said the biggest regret she had in her life was not marrying sooner. And that's one of the reasons why, even though I've been in a second, now a third, you know, that I was like, man, it's companionship. You get to an age where it's not all this big old romance. It's companionship. Yesterday I was on the way to my set. Something happened with my vehicle because I drove my BMW instead of my Tesla, and it did something weird. First thing I thought, that's let me call my husband. Like I knew I was gonna be all right. And then if I couldn't reach my husband, I knew there was another man that I could say, hey, my husband, he didn't answer the phone, he sleep, whatever. But y'all, there's something that comes from that safety and that security and that companionship. Now, if you don't desire it, that's you. Some women are just okay being taking care of themselves the rest of their lives. But if you're here, that's probably not you. Get it right. It's so simple to get it right. Peace, pleasure, paradise. Am I his peace? Am I his pleasure? Am I his paradise? It's real simple. Because if your husband's still there, he loves you. Now, if a husband filing divorce, you probably need to just go ahead and let it go, but he loves you. And now, y'all, the ones I know, y'all got some good husbands. They weird as hell like mine. They crazy, but he loves you, sis. He loves you so much, okay? All right, y'all have a great rest of the day. Let me get out of here. Y'all got me all emotional today. I think my Auntie Flo must be coming. Bye, y'all.